sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to BBallBreakdown. This is going to be part one of a three-part series on who I think are going to be the top 3 picks in the NBA draft. Of course, Markelle Fultz seems like the consensus number 1, no problem. I think Lonzo Ball will be number 2 because he's terrific. And the third one will be Josh Jackson. And I think that he's probably going to be in the top 5. So let's go with him at number 3. So stay tuned for the other 2 because if they're anything like Markelle Fultz's footage, wow, this kid is the real deal. I haven't seen someone this polished as a freshman in a long time, and I anticipate him doing very well. I went deep into the footage to check out what he's doing, so stay tuned for that. But before we get to that, I want to tell you about our friends over at Let's Rumble. So take a second to go over there and download their app because it's a fantasy basketball app that you can play in a really cool way. 5-man, daily, and you can play for money. It's a very small pool, so you're much more guaranteed to win money than anywhere else. And it's really fun because you can play head-to-head or play against a group. You can play against me. My username is BBallBreakdown. So get on there because I'm out there playing a lot, and it'd be really fun to see you out there at Let's Rumble. So download their app today. Get in there. You can have a lot of fun, stay in tune with the game, win some money, and help us out and help a friend of the program out as well from the B-Ball Breakdown family. So without much further ado, here is our breakdown on Markelle Fultz. If you wanted to know why people are saying this is such a deep draft, it's time to look at the consensus number 1 pick. Once you get a hold of Markelle Fultz's game and consider he's only a freshman in college, you'll understand why teams would be willing to lose so many games in the NBA for a coin flip chance at drafting this kid out of Washington. First off, head coach Lorenzo Romar runs a lot of NBA action against man-to-man defense, and Fultz has gotten to show his stuff in the pick and roll quite often. This set is very common in the NBA, where the guard sets a pin down for the big who is on his way to set an inside ball screen. Watch Fultz string it out under control, then use some explosiveness to get his body into the big and finish softly with the left hand off the glass. The quick drag screen out top for the ball handler happens 10 times a game in the NBA, and watch how polished Fultz is as he splits the defense, under control spin move to protect the ball, and the acrobatic finish off the glass with touch. He's got a lot of moves in his bag, and watch how he drags the defender out to the wing before hitting him with a sick crossover pull-up from 3. Many freshmen lack the nuance of the change of pace dribble, but watch how Fultz uses it to stand up the big man off the switch, then explode as he splits his feet and goes left. A strong finish off both feet and using the left hand off the glass makes this a special move. How about this gorgeous split of the hedge off the pick and roll, then gets right into the lane and utilizes the hop to properly go off both feet for the soft floater. Perfect. Going to his left on the dribble, he definitely favors pulling up, and it's refreshing to see a young guard not try to force things into the paint and be able to find good rhythm with perfect mechanics on the shot. Here's another quick drag screen that gets Fultz attacking to his left, and again, he's much more comfortable making this into a jump shot than a drive to the hoop. And behind the arc, he's elite, shooting 41% on 5 3 attempts per game. It's also totally refreshing to see a player get into the middle of the floor off the pick and roll and turn the shot into a normal pull-up jumper instead of a much more difficult runner or floater. These shots will serve him well in the NBA, as it will prove harder to get all the way to the rim when he gets to the next level. Unless you needed any more evidence of his polished game, check this nifty Euro step on the big man, and then have to hit an off-foot lefty layup off the glass. What? And watch how under control he is, surveying the situation, keeping the pressure on the defense, then using the crab dribble to get to the hoop and finish with the left. As a point guard in the NBA, you need to have good vision to make the difficult skip passes after you force the defense to rotate to you. With his good size and height at 6'4", he's able to make this pass, and while it's not as accurate as it can be, at his age, he's got plenty of time to work on this valuable skill and hone it so that defenses will be forced to give up something out of the pick and roll, and Fultz will make that happen without a doubt in my mind. I also like how he can run the pick and roll, then not force it if there's nothing there, and then keep flowing in the offense to find a spot-up opportunity where he can hop into a long ball with terrific rhythm. He clearly likes the hop, and these are my favorite shots he takes, no hesitation, and can bury them with the defender in his face. He's also showed pro range, and with mechanics that remind me of Klay Thompson a little bit, he can extend out well past the college line. He can also be a shooting guard, willing to move off the ball off of screens to find open areas to catch and shoot, reminding me a bit of CJ McCollum. He's been very average in transition, and part of the reason is he's going too fast and trying to do too much, which is partly understandable on a team that has lost a lot of games and has put the weight of their world on his shoulders. When he has had success in the open court, it's when he's under control, surveying the court with his whole vision, and patiently waiting for the opportunities to present themselves. On his drives from the perimeter, he is 10 times better starting the drive to his right, but notice how he seems to prefer crossing it back over to his left to get into the middle of the lane. He's been doing this all season, and it's led to some of his biggest highlights as he gets this shot off with the left hand. He's got a real knack for exploding to his right, and just as the defender is desperately getting back in position, he spins back the other way for a shot at the hoop. Driving to his left is a different story. He almost always makes it a straight line drive, nothing clever to it, and he's a lot less explosive going to his weak hand. As a result, he doesn't get by many people and ends up taking really hard step-back long jumpers with the hand in his face. He'll need to spend a lot more time shoring up this area of his game if he wants to have a major impact in the NBA. Defensively, he doesn't always play with peak intensity or physicality, yet can make up for it with smart plays and quick hands. And he's a deceptively good athlete, every so often breaking out some real hops on this beauty of a block off the rotation to help a teammate. I studied his isolation defense, wondering what it looks like if NBA players start going at him next year, and I found some clips that indicate he needs to increase his core strength to not get bumped off so easily on contact like this. He gives up way too many straight line drives while guarding in isolation, and one issue is that he keeps his arms too far behind him, making him less athletic and less quick laterally. So there you have it, sports fans. I'm sure you can see why Markelle Fultz seems to be the consensus #1 pick in this year's draft. And while he might not transform a bad team into a 50-win team in one season, he is definitely a transcendent talent that will lead to more wins, more fun, and better basketball.